morning. Good morning. Who would have thought I am on more or less on time? Thank you very much for stopping by. Hello. Hey Lainey. Hey DM Sketching, if you still can hear me. If not, have fun in class. In class. Chuck, hey, you should have fun on your fair or what it is, but I very much appreciate that you're here. Good morning. Okay. This is where we left off. I have not done anything with it, as per usual. So what we have to do today is everything. So everything that's still missing, meaning we need to look into, I do not know exactly in which order I do it, but right now to mind for me comes the order to finish the teeth, actually, to have kind of a darkness glistening compass that helps us hopefully with the rest. Then I'm not sure if I will go for the eye first, the Venom eye then, because I want to all around there, I want to fit that in with the color of the eye. So the eye is white and the rest is black or blue black, so it stands out quite a lot. Actually, not that much as I would expect in such a picture. There's not that big contrast in it, but we will try to get a certain contrast in it. And yeah, I think we need to draw the hair before we draw the tendrils on it, because the tendrils in general, except for the white parts, which we will do with the gel pen anyway. My beloved gel pen for this, it is just perfect, the perfect tool. Everything from the tendrils is darker than the hair, so we can just draw the hair and then layer on top the tendrils. So that's the game plan for today. I hope you are full of energy. If not, don't worry, I will take most of the work here. You can just entertain me in chat if you're so kind. Thanks again for everyone that is here. Who do we have? Hey DM, yeah, you can hear me. Don't worry, just stay with your class. Thank you very much for stopping by anyway. Two new snow globes, so perfect I would say, right? Okay, tears. Teeth. We will draw the tears next. He's not really... there is still also a lot... I'm not sure, I think actually after all of that said and done, I think I actually want to do a little bit more on the general face of his human form here, because I am not happy with it. You do not really recognize him. That is the one thing, and also it has a bit of an incomplete feel. It looks a little bit, you know, when really good airbrush artists are airbrushing, and there is a certain point in time before they start to lay on all those fantastic details, when I'm always thinking, how do they do that with an airbrush gun, and then not that perfect tool actually. Is it? I'm not sure if it is actually sharp. Do you think the picture is sharp? I don't think the picture is sharp. I actually deactivated autofocus so that we don't get any trouble with refocusing, but that was not sharp, so now it should be sharp. I hope. Better, much better. Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah, my coffee, it's my third coffee, I think, for today. I was I woke up pretty early at around 5 and could not really sleep anymore. So I took just the opportunity and tried a little bit of Cyberpunk, which released. Anyway, those airbrush, I did not finish that thought. Those airbrush pictures, when they, before they layer on the details, they sometimes look a little bit like this. Very bare bone and too smooth somehow for reality. So we have to try to find those little details, those little imperfections. We have to add on all that smudging that give us a little bit more of a feeling that this is actually something that could exist and is not just a flat something. Is that at all understandable what I mean? I don't know. You're probably used to that by now. So I actually try to introduce a little bit of some lines, a little bit of detail lines that I do not smudge, definitely not smudge. To give it more of a structure and not just this, you know, this feeling of general. I don't know how to finish that sentence. We need to put in some lines in the face that tell us, okay, there actually is something like skin on, so it's not just fabric or something that's lying around in a heap. But I also think that the hair will help with that, so this will be the face for now. Almost. I already see again here this area which looks not very very right. So, oh, heartbreaking. I don't even want to read that. Did some snow globes die? Let me see. I used to have little bear globes, but they got smashed when I moved. Yeah, 2 globes left. A Love Rain and a baby angel. How heartbreaking. Yeah, it is. When your heart is with those items, it is heartbreaking to see them shattered. I think I've never told that story before. I will tell you guys. It's not really that exciting, but I'm thinking about it right now, and I have never told that story anyone before, I think. When we moved, when I was really little, I don't know, not even 10 or something like that, 10 probably. I have had a big collection of Masters of the Universe. We are committing to a line right now, and I'm telling Masters of the Universe stories. This is pretty intimidating right now. Okay, so we have, I may not forget this little bump in Venom's face. I had a Masters of the Universe collection. And I also had She-Ra. And during that move, for whatever reason, She-Ra got lost. And I have no idea where she was, and sometimes I think back on where could that thing have gone. Nobody that moved into that house later gave us anything that we left, so it just vanished somewhere. Or somebody stole it, I have no idea. But sometimes I cannot help and wonder, where did that go? And when I was a child, and you know all those stories about, there are a lot of them about countries worlds where lost items go to, of children that they don't love anymore. I made myself quite miserable thinking that somewhere is a She-Ra action figure that thinks I don't love it anymore. That's the kind of kid I was. I was also very annoying. My brother could attest to that if he was in the stream right now. A tooth. We've drawn a tooth. Go to a friend's house to get a key to my house because my mother puts the chain on the back door and I can't get in. Okay. Safe trip. Good morning, Diana. Say thanks to Lee from me, Lainey. C. Correa. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining. We are continuing my Venom right now that I started in the first stream. We really just started, so you have not missed anything yet. First order of business is to get those glistening teeth nice and shiny. And then go from there. Has any one of you seen the this new series, She-Ra series on Netflix? That is a surprise. It is a style we almost did not watch it because the style is a bit strange and looks very childish, but it's actually pretty funny and heartfelt at places. So it was a really surprise. We have not seen the last season right now, the current season complete, but we have actually seen, I think, 2 of the seasons. I think there are 3. The second one is strangely short, but it closes very good story loop. So you even get the idea that the people writing this have a lot of freedom to write it, and it's not just thrown around and just a strange license they somehow had to still use. Seems like somebody's really thinking about what they're doing there. So if you haven't seen that, take a look and let me know what you think, because it's surprisingly interesting. Skeletor was her favorite. Why am I not that surprised? I actually was never that big of a fan of Skeletor, and I wasn't that afraid of him. Yes, he was somehow the most dangerous enemy of He-Man. I was more afraid. I saw Hordak as a bigger threat. He's actually the evil one in the She-Ra series. And they had this the slime pit with mind control slime that they could put over people. That was, for some reason, those stories, things like that, always struck some kind of chord with me and made me deathly afraid. Sometimes I could not watch stuff like that. So that's, I think, why Hordak was always the bigger evil for me. Because of that pit. There was an episode of Captain Planet with strange toxic slime that made the ring bearers. How are they? Team Planet? I have no idea. I'm not a big fan of Captain Planet. But anyway, they were slimed up and became evil punk versions of themselves. They were much cooler than before though. But that was also such a story. Really terrible afraid I was of an episode of the Smurfs. Has anybody of you seen that episode with the Smurfs where they get bitten by a strange violet mosquito, and they turn violet and they just say nag 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 and bite the other ones in the tushy, and then they also get aggressive violet Smurfs? It is a zombie story. It is 1-to-1, not even a hidden zombie story with the Smurfs. I was so afraid of that. I always wanted to have Skeletor's Castle because it has this microphone, I think, right? It has the microphone. I had Castle Grayskull. I did not have I have no idea how it's called. Skeletor's Castle. Planeteers, yeah, that could very well be. You can be online with both, you know. I don't mind the views. Okay, so we have to be careful that we get all the teeth that we need before I start to completely color in with the dark. Okay, so I think we about got it all. So where's I had the sheet here where I was always smudging around with it. Here, this is it. Very beautiful working sheet. I am actually right now in those areas where we were talking about, and I have them here. We were talking about Q-tips last time to use for smudging. I plan to use them, but as I did use this already on the teeth, I did not want to risk that for some reason the smudging with the Q-tips looks different. Even if it would look better, it would really mess with my head if it looked just a little different. You know. So we have this beautiful glistening what's it called in English? You tell me. That was really scary. I think if you look for violet Smurfs, you can find probably a couple of excerpts from the episode on YouTube also. Scary stuff. So scary that when I was an adult, I actually was thinking about if I imagined that. Because it doesn't fit at all with what I expected from Smurfs. But I didn't. It is real. Don't watch scary movies with Grey. Why not? I love scary movies. I'm also quite a No, that word is not politically correct anymore. I'm a wuss. That's a word I can say, right? I'm a wuss when it comes to those movies. So the thing with me and horror movies is I am completely fine as long as I know that somebody watching the movie with me is more afraid of the movie than I am. That totally helps me. I do not know if you know that effect. I have that very strongly with a lot of things, not only movies. I was once traveling to Majorca island here with my mother. We made a joint trip over there. She loved the island. She wanted to show me. It was a fantastic trip. But before we went there, I was traveling with work already a lot. And I was always traveling alone, and I was always deathly afraid to miss a flight, stuff like that. Totally without any cause. I never missed a flight, but it was an irrational fear I always had. And on that trip, when I was with my mom, she had this crazy irrational fear of being too late, missing the flight, stuff like that. And I totally relaxed in that moment that I noticed that she was afraid of this. I totally relaxed and I calmed her down, and everything is great, and don't worry, no, it's all right. I was totally calm. It was not even an act. I was totally calm because she was more afraid of that than I was. And it's the same with horror movies for me. When I know somebody is right next to me, or I can be deathly afraid in a horror movie and I notice the person next to me is more afraid than I am, I immediately calm down. Not always good, because you are watching horror movies to be afraid, right? I would think so, at least. You want a little bit of that fear. That was me with Pennywise's name. I was sure I made it up. But he's scared of the Smurfs. You have not seen that episode, and I was as a kid. That explains you and our phasmophobia. Yeah, I'm. When I'm alone, I simply cannot play the game. I am completely unfazed if others are around. In phasmophobia, if you would if you would just start saying, "Oh, this is nothing. Oh, not to worry," I would be freaking. Does that look like teeth? Give me some kind of feedback, please. Here I did something a bit wrong with the teeth and how they mesh up, but it is such a teeth fest here with Venom. I think it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, watching horror movies with me is boring for you, Liana, because you are normally more afraid of the movie than I am. That's the reason why I'm always watching horror movies with you. Even if you're terrified, just pretend you're not scared and he will shit this. Probably. Might happen. We will see. Okay. I have to be careful that this doesn't run out without me buying a new one, because I'm kinda addicted by now. At least for those glossy areas like eyes. Okay. The eye. The big one. Our friend Venom has also an eye, not just our friend Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, which I find fascinating that they have kept the original Eddie Brock, but deleted every single kind of reference to everything else. They didn't have to, did they? They could just put in some kind of funny reference without anybody really saying it about him being a bully in school and bullying this nerdy kid that was the school photographer, and now he himself became a journalist, something like that. Not as if they would have needed to, but it would have been nice. I always enjoy those little side glances, even if they have to avoid copyright infringement. Okay. But I missed as a kid parts. That makes more sense. Yeah, Smurfs as a kid, please. I still do not like to watch that. I still feel uncomfortable, but I think that's often the case. If you were a kid and something really struck a chord with you as a kid, it still somehow remains uncomfortable to see as a grown-up. There's actually one movie I saw much too early. No idea what the English title is. What's his name? He's also more of a scandalous person later. It was a comedy movie about vampires. I did not get, as a child, the comedy part. It was terrifying, and it also ended with it's really old, so it's not a spoiler, I guess. It ended with Van Helsing was also, I think, part of the movie, and there was a kid with him, beginning of 20, something like that, probably older than you, Chuck, and they were fleeing into the sunset out of the vampire castle, and they barely rescued his love interest, the boy's love interest, but it turned out she was already vampirized, and in the very last scene she bit him and he also became a vampire. And there's also some kind of mind control with those vampires, because they instantly become bad or something, and they just laughed and were about probably to murder Van Helsing. I don't know. It was really scary for me. I had a very big vampire trauma after that. Vampires are probably still my favorite supernatural classic monster. Concept, but that was for me for a long time big thing. Very big thing. Let's see, we will be using Q-tips now. Oh, a lot written. Hey DM, welcome back. Favorite horror movie? I told you, Alien. And Babadook is very, very high up in that top list. Yeah, we're talking about horror movies, but still keep it PG, people. We are a family-friendly stream. Do not forget that. Family friendly to a certain degree. We can talk about that vampire suck blood and stuff like that. No worries about that. We don't overdo it. We still want to be able to talk, don't we? I think the setup with the microphone directly here, it doesn't disturb you. You do not really see it. I am actually a bit out of camera most of the time, it seems, and try to adjust the camera a little bit. But I'm pretty close to the microphone. You should have a pretty good audio quality of my sultrous buttery voice. Sorry for that. I have to delete that somehow. I don't like this. But we're far from done with this, so no worries. This is interesting. This is completely different than what I have done before, also in this one, because we really now we more or less we want that what I was complaining about earlier on the other side of the face, that it somehow becomes kind of a amorphous smooth blob. We kind of want that here in the eye, because it is very one glistening but quite imperfect surface. So it looks a little bit like it's a bit of a misty Silent Hill situation or something like that inside of that eye. So we have to be, in this case, actually a bit careful not to introduce too many details. And I also want to be careful that I don't put too dark areas in there that are not there in the original. And yeah, interesting stuff. Love Tommyknockers. Really? You did? Yeah, I think I've never met somebody who liked that one. Carrie Misery, the new It. I like the old one. I actually am not sure which Pennywise I find more creepy. Tim Curry one was pretty darn creepy, but Skarsgård also makes a very good job. I have to go through your messages quickly because I missed a lot. Live out if your brother was Scooby-Doo, Abracadabra-Doo. I was 8 and you were 6. Yeah, something like that can really hit a child hard, can't it? Totally understandable. And it completely changes what can drive you mad. When you're a kid, stuff can really... My nephew, he had a really big issue with Lilo and Stitch. Not because he got afraid, but because of Stitch not having a family, losing almost them and stuff like that. It just made him so sad for him. We had to make several breaks, which I was spending convincing him and telling him always again and again that everything will be good in the end. He doesn't have to worry. And we saw it more than once. He wanted to see it, but he had the same issues again the second time. A little bit less, but he was also, I don't know, 6, 8, somewhere around there. Like the first It movie, but hate the second one. New ones or old ones? Confused by your question, are you asking which is my favorite movie or what the movie called? I loved Aliens so much, my kids love it too. And it's a good movie, I think, with something. It is. So scared of first few seasons of The Walking Dead. I did not. It was actually just too gruesome for me. Truth be told, we started watching it, but I did not like the amount of gore and gruesomeness. After 2 episodes, I said, "You can watch it. I don't wanna." It was just too gruesome for me. Sometimes I'm strange that way, that I'm thinking it's too much. I don't need it. Just like with the Saw movies, I saw too many of them anyway. But again and again, I always ask myself, why? Why did you watch that one? You didn't enjoy the first ones? First 3 you have seen? Why do you continue watching them? Some kind of morbid curiosity, I guess. Tominaka's book, yeah, I think that one I did not read. I've read a couple of Stephen King's, and I am sorry to say I'm not the biggest fan of how he writes, especially since that might just be me, but I do see very little common ground between the books in terms of style. I've read Carrie, I've read Werewolf of Tucker Mills, I've read Grimile, I've read Shining, I've read a couple of books of him, and they while they definitely are not bad and the ideas are great, it's always somehow phases me that I do not really recognize him in the next book, which might not be a bad thing, but you also kind of expect to feel style-wise at least a little bit at home when you revisit an author. I never had it with his books. This looks strange. I think it's actually not half bad once we have all the surrounding areas, but just drawing that eye is somewhat strange. But fun. We need a good line around it, and I will draw it with the next 2 darkest. We'll probably have to darken it eventually, but I want to be a bit more careful, and for that I will use this one. The chat is popping right now. Good to many of the Saw movies, yeah. Okay, I have a question. If you have a choice, like choose one of them to watch a horror movie with. I need somebody who is scared, so I am brave. Or I actually I don't mind being scared by the movie. If there is a person I'd like to hold on to, I can be the scared one. If I get protected, I have no issues with that. when the case roles reversed. Thought that you thought Lee had nightmares. There is a Lainey and there is a Liana DM. They are different people. Lainey and Lee have the channel Yorkshire Puts Gaming, a gaming channel you should check out. You can hear me playing Phasmophobia with them. And Liana is a different person that does not have a YouTube channel, but is a real life friend of mine. So what all of you just get third hand via video camera, she sometimes has to experience life and in color. Look, there is a line. Isn't that a nice line? I think we will color in that before we go to the upper part. Yeah, that's why Lainey changed to the Yorkshire Puts. No, less confusion. I don't want to say no confusion, but less confusion probably. Okay, let's color this in. Actually, it is very dark on the edges, so we will go directly in with the super dark one. Super dark. Super dark. That could also have been a channel name for myself. Super dark. Actually not half bad, that channel name. Probably already taken. Right, Liana gets to pet the dog. She did actually yesterday. She pet the, no, not yesterday, right? Day before yesterday? Monday, I think Monday. She got to pet the dogs. Which is probably the biggest perk of knowing me personally. The other one is I make a pretty nice dip for crackers. I was thinking about how to approach this part, but I think I would just color it in with the put in some highlights with the gel pencil. Not all of this, mind you. There has to be a little bit of here where the light hits different. We have put in a little bit more care. But yeah. Sorry. Loyalty, unity? Depends on the scope of your question. Loyalty to each other or unity with a person? Definitely loyalty. No doubt about it. If you are talking about unity of all the human beings to get to a better world, it gets a bit more difficult. But probably I would always go with loyalty. Because why do you need unity when you have loyalty? Everybody can be themselves, but be loyal to one another. Might be that I define unity in this context different than you do, though. It's always a bit difficult with a single word. Questions. You could have completely different. Look at this. This has to be a bit watched so I don't destroy everything, because I'm smudging like a mother smudger. Cat hairs. Yeah, my pancakes are also pretty nice. Loyalty. Yeah. And if you're completely loyal, isn't there some kind of unity achieved already? We are very philosophical now. Dear Sketching, do you want to open a philosophy channel, or are you thinking about the next quote you want to design for your art? Can prepare yourself. I will ask you in a second, once I have completely encased the eye, what you think of it. Can prepare excuses why you don't want to answer or stuff like that. I do not follow the original in this case 100%. There are some areas like this one which are in the original. Most of them I try to somehow model accordingly. But in this case I also, truth be told, did not be so careful as in some other cases to exactly mimic what's going on in the original, because nobody will really notice. Let's be honest about that. Nobody has the single ridges of Venom's face memorized like that. And even if, I'm pretty sure they are changing. They're constantly changing to achieve this organic, fluid Venom look. This now gets a bit more complicated on the forehead front, but I think we will actually go over to the other side for the hair. Before we go for that, what do you think? I promise you I would ask, and I'm not hating it. It looks a bit more like a heavy metal cover music album cover, then I would like to, because that's normally not my style, but that does not mean that I hate heavy metal album cover. Let's put in a little bit of the white detail around here so I don't forget. That would be a harsher punishment for parole violators and world peace. Yeah. Probably still loyalty, because for nation's progress you need both. But without loyalty I don't think there is unity. Except with loyalty comes trust, and without trust people can never really be united. Venom will be answering your homework questions. But you could answer my question. What do you think of it? It's not fishing for compliments, I promise. It is typical artists' desire to get feedback. It really looks a lot like an 80s heavy metal album cover art. Not sure I like that. Hey Mutsafari, thank you for joining. And thanks for the wow. They're just random questions that cross into my mind, and then I put forward this. Yeah, that makes sense. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. We are working on the second stream. And normally that is the last stream, so normally I finish in the second one. We're working on Venom. And right now I want to start with the hair of the human side. I just go into it, you know? Because I can just layer on the symbiotes, tendrils later. Because they are darker than the hair, so the hair has to come first. And I start the hair, although the hair is not that light, it is pretty dark. I start with a bit lighter pencil to get just also a bit more structure in there, more hair, visible strands of hair. So when I layer on with a darker pencil, it gets a more filled in feeling. The thing is, there is of course a hairstyle underneath Venom. We do not see it. We need to stick pretty close to how this looks to really put in some strands the way they are in the template we're using, so that this looks right in the end. because I'm not very good at hair, so I could not for the life of me design my own hairstyle in LED. So, and there is not a lot of detail in here because it is just a dark picture. There's not a lot of light, so this will get a bit difficult. We need this a bit sharper. Do you think those teeth could use some polish? I think they're glistening enough, aren't they? We need to sharpen them a little bit, probably. But let's not jump too much. Don't touch the teeth. You know me. When you say the teeth, I'm directly on the teeth. You should know, at least. Probably not the right playlist for Venom. Should have something more up tempo for him, probably. We had last time, I think, but I am already quite running on reserve today, so I think this is more fitting to my personal mood, at least. If you want something else, if you want more action music, let me know. And no, I will not put in charts music or something. We will stay with music we are allowed to use. Oh god, this song reminds me of Mulan. Terrible movie. The real life one, obviously. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not Mulan. Really looking so amazing. Thank you very much. Oh, someone new. I'm sorry I did not. Can I call you Sadi? I hope so. Welcome. Sadia, that's great. Sadia. New Mulan, was so bad. The only thing I liked about it was the song at the end in the credits. Don't want to talk about the new Mulan. The thing with Mulan, with the new Mulan, is that they took out everything that gave the original Disney movie its character and its heart, and replace it with something that's not necessarily bad, but just completely changes the tone and everything about the movie. And they basically made a superhero out of Mulan, which apparently is closer to the original legend, but not to the original Mulan. We don't even have a Mushu. Terrible. sad. Very sad. I'm very fine, so thank you, Sadia. Thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for asking. I am a bit tired. I was up too early, and I actually was wondering if I would manage to stream, but I want to keep up with my schedule. I've now managed to fulfill my schedule for a couple of weeks, and I want to hold on to it. So Tuesday and Thursday are stream days. And you are good. I read, so don't ask me. Don't be mad at me that I'm not asking how you are. With nobody. And why did they have to replace her love interest with a nobody? Well, let it be a nobody. But it just did not work. It was such a side quest with that guy. If there would have been anything, I think actually the fact that she not directly also jumps to a commander or something that might love her doesn't make it worse. I think that's actually one of the more interesting thought they had when they changed it. Okay, what about if he's not the commander, but this extraordinary woman falls in love with a normal person, normal man, and she is the powerful and the exciting one in the relationship, and he's more of the damsel in distress. That's actually one of the more interesting thoughts, I think, which they had. But yes, I definitely still also miss the original guy as a character in this movie, because the person they replaced him with, not so special. Probably by design, but still, not so special. But enough of the frustrating Mulan. There are enough other things one can hate about it. How it came to be, what a couple of persons working on the movie have uttered politically before. Naja, so many things wrong with this. Where it was filmed, so all around, just really a bad job. missing psychic. Okay. The simple love interest. Yeah. Where are you from? Sketching. I am from Germany, actually. So pretty far away. India is also very Pakistan and India, very interesting countries to visit, I guess, but very different, right? So that is one of the. I actually think you should visit a lot of different places, especially the very different from where you come from. You learn so much about the world, and in general, just also about the fact how different people live. But still it comes somehow down to some core values which we all somehow share. I'm getting too philosophical again, I'm sorry. She's more exciting in the original too. She says his life, not the other way around. Correct. I will never watch the movie ever again. If I'm going to watch Mulan, I'm going to watch the good one. Yes, definitely. I actually watched it a couple of days ago before I watched the new Mulan. I didn't really realize that the new one was actually free now, but in the beginning of December it was to be released for without additional cost on Disney Plus. So, but I did not remember that, so I watched the original one, and this is just so much better. Also more emotional. You get much more emotionally invested. And while I thought the idea of, for example, it's a minor spoiler. If you don't want to hear that, just sing la 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 for a second. Minor spoiler. But that they made Cricket into a person and just called him Cricket, and the way he introduces himself, standing there, oh, my name is Cricket and my mom says I am good luck. It's just so on the nose. That it really made me a little bit angry. I somewhat liked actually the character of this guy, although it was to replace the Cricket, which was pretty cool and would have been cool in this movie. Because there was magic, there were witches, the cheese stuff, all that could have easily fit in a dragon and talking, not even talking Cricket. I don't understand the decisions they take. I really do not understand them. And I think whoever made those decisions should be aware that those decisions were bad decisions. I actually like the remakes. Up to that point, I have not seen The Lion King. I have not seen Aladdin, but for example, Beauty and the Beast, that one I enjoyed very much. So I actually like what they are trying to do there. I just think it was a complete letdown and failure with Mulan. And they're still pumping out enough original movies. I don't think that is an issue with them. They're still pumping out pretty good original content. Especially now with Disney Plus, they are pumping out so much content. I definitely don't like all of it. But there is something for everyone, I would say. Hith. I will call him Hith from now on. Thank you for visiting, DM. Thank you for staying for as long as you could. Always a pleasure having you here. So somehow this is not correct. I somehow forgot something here. I enlarged some area here. I hope it will not look too strange. I think as it is more or less just the general forehead of him with a very artistic texture anyway, I would like to say. I hope it doesn't look too wrong what I did wrong here. You guys are too interesting to talk to. It's your fault. I'm not so happy in general with how the forehead turns out, but truth be told, I don't have much of a choice to continue this way because it's not my usual style. I have committed to doing it the way I've done up until now, and now we have to see it through to the end and just see how it looks and what to do with it. So we will have a general, not extremely dark layer here. We will smudge that around a little bit. And then we will layer on a couple of darker patches. We will have kind of a cloudy structure. I hope that alludes a little bit to the three-dimensionality of the original. It is all filled in. It is not how we need it, but we have it all filled in at least. So it starts to become one unit now. I'm also very hesitant to watch the other one. Shuck, I really don't know. I'm a bit No, they had to swap the dragon for a phoenix. Why not the dragon? Yeah, I had no idea, but I did not want to include that spoiler. Smudge man, yeah. I'm a smudge man. Beep beep ba ba da pop. Is that already enough for a copyright strike? I'm not sure. We will see. We also have to finish this slowly but surely, because I would definitely not be able to do a stream like last time, which means we will not be having an over 2 hour stream today. I'm very sorry about that. I might try, if there is demand for it, to have longer ones in the future once I hopefully am a little bit more healthy again. But right now I am a little bit limited in my possibilities. And because of that, I think we will leave the head like that for now. It looks all a bit bare bone. It doesn't look 100% exactly like I would like it to look. Let's put in some more highlights. And this will not be one with which I am suddenly in the end as happy as I was with the Joker one. I was surprisingly happy in the end. But it was an experiment. I knew that this would be a bit more difficult for me because I have never done something like this. So we have to be a bit careful. Here are still very light areas where there should not be. We also should be careful to not overdo it with the darkness. Because while we have a gel pen, it can give us a little bit of light back in places. We can also not overuse that one, and only gives us quite sharp light places that works well enough with the glossiness of the symbiote, but it would not help on those areas where it's not a complete light reflection. We have to rebuild. We have to rebuild lighter skin or something. The gel pen will not help us at all. I actually don't know if I want to include as many highlights as we have in the original. I'm not sure that it works the same way. So I think this is for now okay. Just thinking about, we definitely need, as always, to include a little bit of context. That means a bit of this shoulder part. Just a little bit. of looks like he has a big hole in his head at the top because of that highlight on the edge. You mean this one? Yeah, it might be a bit too. This is not the pen I wanted to. Yeah, okay, now let's take this one. I might have to get this. It might look more like an open wound or something than before. I'm not that happy. Perhaps I will find a way to make this more to my liking. Probably not on stream. Let's give him also a little of a Venom-y shoulder. I'm not convinced yet, but I don't know right now where to fix it. I hope this would become the next Joker for me, the next thing where I'm a bit afraid about, and in the end I'm really happy with how it turned out. It definitely is not the next Joker. I don't hate it. I think it is a consequent step into a direction to learn how to do this. Not necessarily a triumph, but well. Yeah, I still have to work on it a bit more. I think it might actually. I don't want to smudge it actually too much because it is quite sharp white area, you know. But on the other hand, smudging it shows that it is not. Without smudging it, it has a very different texture, so that makes it look a bit out of place there, which lets it appear like an opening or something. So smudging it a little bit is probably the easiest way and the fastest way to fix that. Do we need those tendrils on the upper head? You know, these ones? Not sure. I think we need them. Thank you very much, Lainey. I am not so sure about that, but thank you for trying. Thank you, Shaq. Well, but I think this is it for this stream. So before I make my usual closing arguments, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for over 300 subscribers. That is very much appreciated. Appreciate every single one of you. I'm very thankful. And yeah, this was the second stream for, I think the eye is actually pretty pretty convincing, pretty good. This was the second stream for Venom. This was not a good idea. I always do 2 live streams for 1 portrait, and then if something is still to be done, like with this one, there will be still something to be done, I will do so on camera but offline, and then put it into the time lapse that comes out the next Monday, which is normally smaller than 10 minutes, shorter than 10 minutes. So if you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe, give me a like if you enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed spending time with you guys. Yeah, don't miss out on the other already finished time lapses on my channel. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Goodbye.